How much more can Britain take of this migrant madness? We find out now that more than 50 relatives of asylum seekers are joining their fellow illegals in Britain every single day. Every single day. That's 19,154 in one single year. 19,000. And this is showing no signs of abating this problem. Labour aren't going to do anything. Not a damn. So this is going to continue getting worse and worse. Refugees from Syria, from Eritrea, from Sudan, from Afghanistan. Afghanistan, by the way, and Pakistan, stats from Italy show that they are represented the highest in the crime rates of foreign nationals, because Italy, unlike Britain, has started documenting this stuff. But our spineless political class act as if this flood of unvetted arrivals is some sort of moral duty for the country that we all better get on board with. And meanwhile, the public, you, continue footing the bill. You're left in the dark about the real costs, the crime, and the chaos that follows. We're letting in people who we know next to nothing about, because as you well know, they're undocumented, they're fighting age men from countries riddled with violence, with tribalism, and with anti-Western sentiment. It isn't just a case of bad policy, it's frankly national suicide, and it's playing out in real time on Britain's streets. So I wanted to give you a snapshot of just 1 week's carnage alone. I'm going to go through 3 cases that I've documented online that have had everyone from Suella Braverman to Richard Tice to a whole host of people commenting on via my X account saying, why are we not deporting these people? And I imagine, my friends, you will share a very similar sentiment. I'm going to start in Newcastle, actually, a place that you'll probably be aware is very close to my heart, and a nurse in Newcastle. Apparently, the far right is the real problem in Britain. We're the land of opportunity for everyone other than law-abiding Brits, including nurses trying to get to and from work. This is the scene, my friends, in Newcastle. This is the car, a damage that was done to this nurse's car. And the little man that you can see in that mugshot there from a police station is an asylum seeker called Nasir al-Suwaimi. Now, we funded his education. We funded, of course, his prison stay after he fractured a nurse's spine whilst he was fleeing police in an uninsured car in Newcastle. Now, his excuse, and this is just from last week, by the way, that this has been reported, his excuse was that he didn't know you needed a driving licence to permit you to drive in Britain. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. If you believe that, you'll probably vote Labour, my friends. And Newcastle's MP, Chi Onwurah, well, did she come out and condemn the attack? Did she call for harsher penalties, more restrictions on migrants? Did she warn against the rise of the kind of lawlessness that we're seeing on our streets? No, instead she warns so often of the rise of the far right, this elusive bogeyman. Because obviously, that's the real threat here, my friends. And meanwhile, his victim, the nurse Claire, she had to hobble down the aisle. She was getting married weeks after this incident. And she had to walk down the aisle at the most important day of her life on crutches. She was so dosed up on painkillers that she can barely remember a thing. And it should have been the happiest day of her life. A honeymoon obviously ruined, her future changed perhaps forever, and yet the political class obsess over protecting migration's reputation as a pursuit, while ordinary Brits pay the price. Does anything, my friends, does anything at all highlight more clearly the sheer derangement of Britain's asylum and migration policies? And now we go to a Sudanese predator who won't be deported. This man's name is Ali Hamad, a Sudanese asylum seeker who spent months terrorising women in both London and Cardiff. This is a look of the lovely fella here. His crimes, my friends, include groping women in public, exposing himself on busy streets, masturbating in front of victims, and slapping a young woman in the face for daring to reject his advances, like some kind of primordial animal. And instead of swift deportation, he's not a British national, he was handed a pathetic 8-month sentence and a sexual harm prevention order that requires him to ask permission before being alone with women. Oh, well, that'll stop him, won't it? That'll stop him. Crisis averted, sorted, we've fixed it. His solicitor insists that he arrived conviction-free, as if we're just supposed to take the word of a sexual predator at face value. The reality is this: he'll serve a pitiful sentence. Those 8 months won't be 8 months, it'll be half of that and then some. He'll get released early, he'll carry on offending, and because this is Britain, where even predators know the system is a total woke joke, it'll be absolutely scot-free. In case number 3, my friends, we go to Bournemouth now. If you're from Bournemouth, you'll know of this hotel. It's the Roundhouse Hotel, I believe. And this hotel has become quite infamous within Bournemouth for being a hub of migrant shenanigans. And Bournemouth itself has become a war zone. And I'm not joking. It was once regarded as a quintessential British seaside town, you know, complete with beaches, fish and chips. Now, what do you have to contend with? Well, you've got gang knife fights. Law-abiding Brits enjoying the promenade? Well, you've got to contend with Egyptians and Afghanis slashing each other with broken glass in the middle of the street. The ringleaders pictured here. Audie Hady was caught on CCTV hacking at people like a sort of possessed madman, and his accomplices weren't far behind him. The judge handed down a sentence of 3 years and 9 months. One of the other people involved, though, have walked free, and someone else rejected for asylum in the course of these events is still here, my friends. Apparently sofa surfing in mosques in Britain. Why is he not deported? Yet again, I'm asking that question. Why is he not deported? Because soft touch Britain means that if you have the right skin colour, if you are of the right migrant background, you can get away with any violent crime, no matter how heinous. You get refused asylum, you can still stay here anyway. Britain's soft touch madness absolutely has to end. These stories, they should all be national scandals. I think they would be if it were anybody else, but they barely make a dent in the news cycle. You may well not have heard of them, because the people in charge, well, they don't care that asylum seekers are destroying communities. They don't care that British women are paying the price. They don't care that criminals are treated like victims in these scenarios. And all the while, 50 more arrive every single day, bringing more dependents, more benefit bill for you, more costs on public services that are squeezed like a pulp. We now have predictions of 72.5 million people here by 2031. My friends, the population of Australia is 25 million. Australia is a massive landmass. We are an island. This is bringing more chaos and tearing apart the very social fabric that our ancestors fought and died for. Britain is at breaking point. We need a total rethink of everything that's going on. We need mass deportations of the kind President Trump has already got stuck into. We need proper border controls. We need an asylum system that stops rewarding criminality. Britain deserves better. You at home deserve better. Your girls deserve better. It's time to wake up.